Hey, so if you did the reading quiz, the reading discussion, if you did the discussion for Friday, if you did all the material, then you have one more thing to do, and that's the last discussion due on Monday, which is all about the Salem witch trials. Now, don't worry if we're not going to get into the depths of ideas of witchcraft or anything like that. We're going to look at this as an event as historians. So we're going to look at this through the lens of historians, looking at sources to try to determine together what's happening for this area and these people in this town to start accusing people of witchcraft. If you go on YouTube, there are tons of videos of all types of theories and ideas all over the place of what's happening with this event, but we're going to do it through the lens of historians and looking at 4 different sources. So as you scroll through this section before you get to the discussion, pay close attention to sources A, B, C, and D listed there that are going to be 2 written accounts and 2 historical content accounts. So historical context of what's happening in that time that might paint a picture of why this is happening. Now think about and put yourself in their shoes and think about what influences and anxieties people might have at that time that would help spread this idea. Now, at a larger context, which we're not getting into in this, but it's worth mentioning, this is not new at this time period. In fact, for the centuries around the colonial time what we're looking at, it was happening all over Europe. And in fact, not too far from where I live is a corner of a street where 2 streets converge. There's a stoplight there now. And every time I see there, I look to the right and I know on that corner is where they used to burn witches or people accused of witchcraft. They also burned them who was accused of dissent against the government or political authority. So whoever was against the social norms of the time were burned on that corner. So it's a really odd stoplight to be at, but it's part of the culture and the history of the area. In fact, it's the history of throughout Europe. And so we got to remember that the dominant culture at this time that's taken over in Salem is a very much European idea. The Puritan idea that's spread on both sides of the Atlantic, and the anxieties and ways of dealing with social unrest and political unrest, economic unrest, all these things is oftentimes linked to this idea of persecution and accusations of witchcraft. So on the bigger picture, it's happening throughout Europe, and then at the micro level in this town of Salem, we get to see firsthand of how that's playing out. So you're going to take the role of a historian, you're going to look at the sources and explore that together of how you can come up with an example, a reason for accusations of witchcraft in this small town of Salem. All right, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Enjoy the journey.